I've had a long career in multiple industries. If you list my sins, I sound like the worst person on earth. But if you put those against the things I've done right, it makes much more sense. The value of beauty and inspiration is very much underrated, no question. But I want to be clear, I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. That is not the goal. I'm just trying to think about the future and not be sad. For me, it's simple. This is something that is important to get done, and we should just keep doing it or die trying. I don't need a source of strength. Quitting is not in my nature, and I don't care about optimism or pessimism. We're going to get it done. Tesla was under the most relentless short seller attack in the history of the stock market. Tesla was the most shorted stock in the history of stock markets. So, this was affecting our ability to hire people. It was affecting our ability to sell cars. Yes, it was terrible. They wanted Tesla to die. It's so bad they could taste it. Well, most of them have paid the price. Yes, where are they now? Work like hell. You just have to put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. All those things improve the odds of success. So, my advice to people is, if you need encouragement, don't start a company. We basically messed up almost every aspect of the Model 3 production line. From cells to packs, to motors, body line, the paint shop, final assembly. Everything was messed up. I lived in the Fremont and Nevada factories for 3 years, fixing that production line, running around like a maniac through every part of that factory, living with the team. I slept on the floor so that the team, who was going through a hard time, could see me on the floor. They knew that I was not in some ivory tower. Whatever pain they experienced, I had it more. There wasn't any other way to make it work. Through 3 years of hell, 2017, 2018, and 2019 were the longest period of excruciating pain in my life. There wasn't any other way, and we barely made it. We were on the ragged edge of bankruptcy the entire time. Do you feel that this challenge of figuring out the new way of manufacturing gives you an edge now that it's different? That you figured out how to do this? At this point, I think I know more about manufacturing than anyone currently alive on Earth. I can tell you how every damn part of that car is made. But I'm not afraid of dying. I think it will come as a relief. So, people may not be able to see the vision of SpaceX come true in your lifetime. Well, I'd like to live long enough to see that. Being at a net worth of roughly $230 billion, being perceived as the richest person. Do you know John Law? He used to be the richest person on Earth 300 years ago. Okay, he was a poker player, a gambler, the biggest art collector on Earth. Wow, in the end, he went bankrupt. What a fall that was. Did you ever think about that option? That something could go wrong, and that you could one day lose everything? There have been many times where I expected to lose everything. Who starts a car company and a rocket company expecting them to succeed? Certainly not me. I thought they both had less than a 10% chance of success. Whatever, I don't care. So many young people, actually from across the globe, if you have advice for them who want to be like Elon Musk, what's your advice? I think that probably they shouldn't want to be like me. It sounds better than it is. Okay? Yeah, it's not as much fun being me as you'd think. There are definitely worse fates for sure. It's really hard starting a company. You have to be prepared to work constantly, from when you wake up to when you go to sleep. You have to be willing to deal with a lot of difficult problems and thorny issues. You have to be willing to deal with an enormous amount of stress and just push yourself super, super hard. I wouldn't recommend it for most people. Try to be useful. Do things that are useful to your fellow human beings, to the world. It's very hard to be useful, very hard. Are you contributing more than you consume? Try to have a positive net contribution to society. That's the thing to aim for, not to try to be a leader just for the sake of being a leader. A lot of times the people you want as leaders are the people who don't want to be leaders. So if you live a useful life, that is a good life, a life worth having lived. I would encourage people to use the mental tools of physics and apply them broadly in life. SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, and the Boring Company are philanthropy if you say philanthropy is love of humanity. Tesla is accelerating sustainable energy. This is a love of humanity. SpaceX is trying to ensure the long-term survival of humanity with multiplanetary species. This is love of humanity. Neuralink is to help solve brain injuries and existential risks with AI, which is also a love of humanity. The Boring Company is trying to solve traffic, which impacts most people, and that too is a form of philanthropy. I encourage people to read a lot of books, to ingest as much information as you can, and develop a good general knowledge. So you at least have a rough lay of the land of the knowledge landscape. Try to learn a little bit about a lot of things because you might not know what you're really interested in if you at least aren't doing a peripheral exploration broadly of the knowledge landscape. Talk to people from different walks of life and different industries, professions, and skills. Just try to learn as much as possible. Man's search for meaning. Isn't the whole thing a search for meaning? Yes, we're spending your life and all. We're just generally. I said I would encourage people to read broadly in many different subject areas, and then try to find something where there's an overlap of your talents and what you're interested in. People may be good at something, but they may not like doing it. You want to find something where you have a good combination of things you're inherently good at and also enjoy doing. When you have that third failure in a row, did you think I need to pack this in? Never. Why not? I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated. Essentially, the longer you do anything, the more mistakes you will make, cumulatively, which, if you sum up those mistakes, will sound like I'm the worst predictor ever. But, for example, for Tesla vehicle growth, I said I think we're doing 50%, and we've done 80%. Yes, but they don't mention that one. I'm not sure what my exact track record is on predictions. They're more optimistic than pessimistic, but they're not all optimistic. Some of them are exceeded, probably more later, but they do come true. It's very rare that they do not come true. I don't aim to disrupt for the sake of disrupting. It's more like, think about what set of actions are most likely to lead to a better future. One of the things, obviously, in order to have a compelling future for civilization, is that we must have a clear path to a sustainable energy future. Everyone, I think, would agree with that. I'm not someone who tends to demonize oil and gas. To be clear, this is necessary right now. Our civilization could not function without it. I do think we actually need more oil and gas at this time, not less. But simultaneously, we must move as fast as we can towards a sustainable energy economy. I was living in the factory in Fremont and the one in Nevada for 3 years straight. That was my primary residence, no kidding. Literally, did you keep the couch? I slept on a couch at one point, on a tent on the roof, and then for a while there, I was just sleeping under my desk, which is out in the open in the factory. And for an important reason. It was damn uncomfortable sleeping on that floor. And always when I woke up, I'd smell like metal dust. But actually, I stopped using the couch in the conference room and a couch there. I stopped using the couch. I just slept on the floor under my desk, so that during shift change the entire team could see me.